So thank you, Michael, for the presentation. First of all, I'm really happy to be here and talk about a very interesting topic, PLM systems and business change. We started with an assessment phase during 2014, and then we invited some vendors for workshops, and we sat down with them and went through all our processes and all our requirements, etc. And then finally ended up with some ROM cost and some high-level plan. And then we down-selected to one vendor. In this case, it was Minerva and Aras, where we had the scoping phase. And the same thing there. Then we just took it a little bit further. We went into the real details and really looked into exactly how the processes should work, etc. And right now, we're in the middle of the PLM implementation phase. So how we did the emulation then? And this is kind of the back of your scientist slide, so you cannot argue about this. So we had the shell requirements, so I had like a list of 500 requirements just to scope in and explain to the vendors what we would like to do, which are the requirements. And some of those were shell requirements, of course. Then we had cost 50% and requirements 50%. And as you can see, we had the cost was more grading, so if you had the lowest cost, you got the highest point, and if you have lower cost, it's kind of was falling down, so we can have a better model to look into. And then we also had non-functional requirements and functional requirements on this side. So everything from vendor commercials, like XCAD integration, workflow management, compliance, proposed technology, training, etc. So everything was graded and weighted. And that was really good because then you can have something to discuss around. So what about the result then? All the systems could do the job for us. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they all have the capability to support our type of business. If you go into those, some systems from the big bubble there and Aras. You can see Aras a little bit stronger, and that's mainly because of the non-functional requirements. I mean, the architecture is excellent, the setup, the license management, etc. is good, so they're a little bit stronger there. But when it comes to cost, you can see it's quite a big difference. And this is not actual, I mean, this is just a grading, so it's not money, so it's just a grading here. So don't read it wrong. So kind of the first discussion ended up, hey, why are you presenting this to us, to the management committee? Said, just go back and do it almost. So it was kind of a no-brainer. And when we looked at the total cost and ownership, you can see Aras is also strong. Maybe in some areas the other vendors are stronger. But overall, I mean, you can see the total cost of ownership for 5 years was quite attractive for Aras. And I think if you will see the same thing if you try to do it. So then, why did we select Aras then? It's no upfront investments, and it's a lower cost of ownership. And that's a differentiator. I mean, that's the key thing, because you can see everybody, all the systems could do the job for us. But when it comes to cost, I mean, that's different you from other systems. It's good and broad capabilities to support our business. I mean, we can do almost all the processes which we have to do within engineering in Aras in the future, if we would like to do that. And that's a really, really good. And it's strong on configuration management and change management, better than the others. And that support our complex business, complex projects and complex programs. And finally, it's really a good culture fit between Aras, Minerva and BAE systems. And that's very important if you should be partnering with someone for the next 25 years or so. You need to select the right one. Goes for private life too. And it's also an open and resilient solution. And that's also supported because we need to support our long life cycles. So that was kind of the statements we had. So, how are things going then? It goes very, very well. We're now in the middle of the implementation project. We're running this as a sprint project, an agile project, so we have 25 sprints in total. I think we actually have completed 3 sprints now, and we have 3 or 4 ongoing. We have completed the data model, or almost completed the data model and security model. We will start the change management and integrations pretty soon. We have started the CATI integration, and that works well, where we're working with IoT systems, and we will also work with XPLM later on for the solid edge integration. And then in the end of 2016, we will do the end user training, and we hopefully will go live then in the end of next year. And I'm a little bit worried because everything goes so well actually, so no big issues. So